Demand for tests is still at a higher rate than what we saw before the holidays. You can see that chart. The percent of tests coming back positive still hovering about 30%, but slightly lower than the past few days. And according to the CDC yesterday, Florida added another 33,000 cases, no new deaths. And 333 people who were previously being treated for COVID were released from hospitals across the state. The majority of those were adults. We're also taking a closer look tonight at Florida's pediatric population. That's because COVID hospitalizations among children are reaching record levels. Our Liz Crawford spoke with doctors across the Tampa Bay area about what we're now seeing when it comes to kids and COVID.
With so much community spread, doctors at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital were bracing for the Omicron surge.
We're actually seeing more admissions now than we did with Delta.
Across the state, pediatric COVID hospitalizations are at an all-time high.
From a pediatric standpoint, we're probably at our worst point of the pandemic right now.
Over the last week, Florida's had on average about 220 kids with COVID in the hospital, slightly above where we were during the Delta peak last summer.
We have more kids requiring hospitalization. Now, sometimes it's hard to pick out whether they're here because of Omicron or incidentally.
Meaning some kids are admitted to the hospital with something else and test positive while there.
We're testing everybody who comes in the hospital, so that does get tricky.
Stephanie Yoakum says she took her 3-year-old son Jackson to Lakeland Regional Hospital last week when he couldn't catch his breath.
He woke up coughing and was having trouble breathing.
She said he had a croup cough, which is a high-pitched barking cough. Hospital staff ran tests and
it came back positive for COVID and rhinovirus.
We haven't seen as much of it previously with COVID, but yes, with Omicron, we're seeing more and more kids who are presenting with croup.
Even though the majority of children will likely recover from COVID, Dr. Perno is warning parents now that this virus is still a threat to kids.
I think the narrative that kids do great with COVID is hurting us a little bit right now. I think parents aren't as quick to get the child vaccinated, and maybe they don't take all the proper precautions.
And when it comes to getting kids vaccinated, there is less than enthusiasm to get kids younger than 12 the shots than teenagers. Here in Florida, 18% of ages 5 to 11 are vaccinated, compared to 59% of ages 12 to 19. The Kaiser Family Foundation COVID-19 Vaccine Monitor gives this sharper insight about why parents of younger kids are more hesitant. They polled parents in November before the emergence of the Omicron variant. While 6 in 10 parents believe the vaccines are safe for adults, that confidence drops for younger age groups. 52% believe it's safe for teens, along with 43% for kids under 12. The Kaiser Family Foundation does plan to have an update on vaccine hesitancy in February.